Finally getting around to showing off the restore on the SCAG Walk behind. So this one was in pretty bad shape as well. Had to do some work on the wiring harness, new battery. The engine had to have most of the seals replaced in it, valve cover gaskets. The muffler was rotted on it, so that's been replaced. Had to adjust the tracking on it. It cuts pretty well. I think it's got a better cut. I'll tell you a little bit about the machine. So, it's got a Briggs & Stratton Vanguard, 16 horsepower. This engine had to have a pretty substantial amount of work done to it to get it to run. New fuel pump. I had to go through the carburetor. Put a new exhaust system on it because the one that was on it was rotten. Got a loose screw for the kill wire. New charging system regulator. So voltage regulator was replaced. Just minor stuff, really. I mean, it had been left outside for a little while. So the machine was rusted in spots. Basically a lot of rust under the deck lid where the water pooled up. Overall, it was fairly easy to get this one running again after taking care of the oil leaks. A couple of levers on the tracking were froze, so it was almost impossible to get it to track straight. As soon as I got those cut off and replaced with adjustments, it's very easy to get it to track. The wiring harness, the connector that holds the upper and lower harness together, was totally destroyed. So what I ended up doing there was just taking the plastic off, putting heat shrink over the wires, and putting them together, soldering them, and then shrinking down the heat shrink. So it's a little thick on the harness, but I don't think it's going to have any wiring gremlins on that area in the future. So in the previous video on my Turf Tiger, I talked about the 810 spindles, on how they were loud. I decided to go ahead and give them another try. And so I put them on this machine. And to be honest, they're a lot quieter on this one. So I think on the Turf Tiger, I might just have a bad spindle. With the tires and stuff, it cuts pretty low. I would hope that it would cut a little higher than what it does, but close to the max height, and I bet it only cuts maybe 3.5 inches. It's a low cutter, but still it does a pretty good job. I'm impressed with it. It's one I really want to hang on to, but in order to keep doing these videos, I kind of flip these mowers, you know, look for something new. Overall, great machine. I was impressed with this one. Sometimes you don't know what you're going to get into when you buy one of these in the condition this one was in, but this one turned out to be one of my favorite builds so far.
if it was okay.
Yeah.
You look funny.